Well, hello there. This is Diamond from Diamond Shine Soap. Guys, I'm so glad to have you in the studio today. Today we'll be working with IGI 4826. Now, before we get into IGI 4826, I want to let you know that this is a paraffin wax. If you do not like paraffin, this is not the video for you, but excuse me, move out the way. Sometimes I like my wax smells to be a little strong. Okay? Now, with that being said, we will be using some clamshells. You will have to chop this up. This is a very hard block, okay? Now, one thing I will say about this block, if you take it outside on the concrete and you bang it, or if you do like I did, I put it inside of a trash bag and I just pretty much just dropped it on the ground, like, you know, from all the way up, and it was in a brick, and I just slammed it on the ground and it broke apart that way. You could do it that way. You could get a hammer, and there's many ways to break it apart, okay? So don't just get it and think you're going to do it with a little knife. No, you will be fooled, okay? So I'm going to be using about 10 ounces of this. Now, the recommended fragrance load is 6 to 8%. I'm going to be using 8% today. I did like it at 8%. I did make some wonderful wax melts with them. I made it at 8%, and I poured it at about, I think I poured these at like 155. I'm not even going to hold you. These were poured it out about 155, 160. So you can do that. We're going to follow all of this all along. I will be teaching you guys step by step. This does hold color really well. So if you want to color them, like I colored these green, I colored my other ones yellow. So if you want to color them with color dye blocks or liquid dye, I will be using some liquid dye in mine. Now, if you're using color dye blocks, it's recommended to do it when it's hot. If you're using liquid, you can definitely do it at any time. It doesn't even matter with the liquid, okay? All right. So what you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to just move your little clamshells to the side. Now, I want to tell you guys, because I know you've seen my lovely labels. A lot of people do not know how to design labels. And because there are people who do not know how to design labels, I went on Etsy and I got a template. I purchased it for about $4 and something cents, almost $5. And that's what I did, and I just pretty much, this is a whole sheet. I go and take my paper cutter and I cut it out into little teeny tiny squares or whatever, and they're coming out to be 2 by 3. I use the Avery template and I just print it on just a whole sheet, okay? And that just saves me from having to buy labels all the time, just getting the whole sheet and print it that way. I will link this in the description box. This is what I use. Because sometimes you're in an emergency. You can't just go and just be ordering labels all the time. So, you know, just thinking about that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this in a wax melter or your Presto pot or whatever, and we're going to let that melt all the way. We're going to let it go, the temperature go all the way up until about between 190 and 200 degrees, and then once it gets to that temperature, we're going to transfer it over into our pouring pot, and I'm going to transfer it over into the pouring pot, and after getting the pouring pot, then we will go from there. Okay, all right. Guys, I just wanted to tell you that when you letting it heat up, do not let it get too hot, because it will start popping and frying like some chicken. So just make sure you pay attention to your temperatures while it's in your Presto pot, crock pot, or whatever you're using, your double boiling method. Okay, just pay attention. All right. Okay, so I'm using a birthday cake fragrance from Virginia Candle. This is a fragrance that I had for quite a bit of time. I just poured about 4.2 ounces because I just wanted to just, you know, show you guys the pouring temperatures and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and add me some fragrance into this. I'm going to be using 8%. And, okay. So I'm using 8% fragrance, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stir that into here. And I want you to just stir it in for about 2 minutes just to bind it. Just to make sure that when you pour, you don't have oil separating from your wax melts, okay? Okay. So mine is nice and bonded. And I'm at 158 degrees, which is good. This is a good time to pour. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pour this into my clamshells. I love me a nice birthday cake fragrance. And this is pretty good for some melts. Nice and strong. Okay, and that was perfect. That was actually the right amount of wax. I used a good amount. It stopped right where I needed it to. Okay, and when I finish with these particular melts, I'm probably going to end up putting some sprinkles on it, because you know me, I always got to jazz and dazzle something up. So that is it, guys. I showed you the labels. I showed you the pouring temperature. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You do not want to miss the next video that we will be doing. We'll be doing some Pro Blend 600 next. I'm excited about this journey, and I'm glad to share it with you guys. Go and hit the thumb up. See you back again soon. All right.